let's talk about everything that I made in November and December. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing episode 38 of my crochet and knitting podcast. No crochet today, just knitting, but I am so excited to share with you everything that I knit on in November and December. Actually, there is some crochet. That's exciting. I haven't done crochet in a while. We have lots to share with you today. It's been a while. I did not do a podcast at the end of November, beginning of December because of Vlogmas. I did 12 videos plus a bonus 13th video on New Year's Eve. I'll make sure to link the playlist up above and down below so you can see if you missed any of that. But there's a few vlogs for projects that I worked on. There's a roundup video. I shared my top 10 makes of 2023. There's all sorts of really interesting content there for you, so you can go check that out. It's not all like a day-to-day Vlogmas, though there are a couple vlogs like that. So that's kind of what December was like. It was very busy, lots to do. And also with the holiday season, it's always busy during the holiday season, and I just gave myself more work to do with the 12 Vlogmas videos plus my bonus. So it's been nice to kind of relax a little bit. You can hear I'm a little bit sick. Just after Christmas, I got hammered with some kind of a flu or something. So I'm on the very tail end of that. Sometimes I get a coughing fit. Sometimes I have to clear my throat or blow my nose. And then my eyes are having a hard time. They're kind of like watery and hurting a little bit right now, so no makeup on today. Just got my glasses on, so I know that's not like ideal for filming because of like the glare from my windows, but this is what we're getting, so thank you for being here. First of all, what I'm wearing my No Frills sweater by Petite Knit. When I bought this pattern, I didn't realize that it was not size inclusive, so do be aware of that. I made this last year. Oh my gosh, I can't say last year anymore because that was 2023. I made this in 2022. It was my birthday sweater. I used a gift card for my birthday, and then I used that yarn to make a project the very next year in time for my birthday, I think is how it all worked out. So I used Madeline Tosh Impressions, which is their mohair base, in the color New Moon, which is this really cool variegated that had like mauve and blues and greens and things like that. And then as the base color, I used Knit Picks palette in the color Ice Lily. So this is a nice cozy sweater. It is a little big on me. The more I wear it, the more I realize this is just a little bit too big for my comfort in like slouchy level. I want it to be a little bit smaller than what this ease is, but that's okay. It's still nice and cozy. I still love this sweater. I am a mauve girly at heart. I'm really glad I have this sweater, and I haven't worn it enough this season. It has not been quite cold enough here. I am in Utah, and we have not had any snow stick. I think it snowed once or twice, but it melted within like a day. So it's just weird and barren and not as cold outside as you would have thunk at this point in the year. So I don't know what that's going to do to our summer, but I'm enjoying not shoveling, which is nice. The only other piece of news that I want to talk about before I dive right into my finished objects is this book came in the mail, 60 Quick Crochet Projects for Beginners. Sorry, trying not to get the glare. I have 4 patterns in this book, which is such a huge privilege. I'm so grateful that I had 4 designs selected for this. So let me share with you my designs. And this is something that I worked on last year. I can't say last year, 2022. And so this has been a long time in the making, and I am really excited. Let me find my patterns. All right, this pattern is called New Groove. It's a scarf that uses like half granny squares. So it's kind of a funky, different style of granny squares. This baby blanket is called Whisper, and it uses spike stitches for a really neat texture. So cute. This cowl is called Sideways Rhythm, and it's moss stitch done on the bias, so there's some really fun diagonals. And then this shawl is called Field of Saplings. There's just like a really nice texture, and then that lacy border is kind of shaped like trees. I'm really happy with this design. I want to do something similar to this coming up soon, if I can get myself to do that. So yes, 60 quick crochet projects, tons of patterns in here. So if you are a beginner crocheter or want something that's really simple but also has some like really unique elements, then this is a great option. Shameless plug is over. Let's get into my finished objects. one finished object for November, and so that's part of the reason why I didn't make one of my Vlogmas videos a podcast episode. I just felt like there wasn't a lot to share. So I saved it for this episode, and I have my November Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I participated in every single month last year of the Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club, and so yay, I'm so excited. I finished it and I'm done knitting DVD socks, at least for the time being. I knit in November the Rainbow Connection socks by Kay Litton. This was a fun pattern to do, and it was a fun way to use this like half skein set. I got a 50-gram skein of this gray color and a 50-gram skein of this striping color, autumn rainbow. So it's just a fun texture. I feel like it looks better in person than on camera. On camera, it kind of picks up the variegation in the gray a little bit more. It's just reading a little differently. I'm a fan. These were fun to do. I needed something different than just a vanilla pattern. And even though I didn't feel like I had the capacity to do a pattern sock, I still did it because I needed something different. I could not do another Musselburgh or another pair of just vanilla socks. I needed to do something different. So even though I wanted to do something simple, this still fit the bill, and I got them done. Woo! Now on to December finished objects. I had a lot. Part of my goals for December were to finish some projects that were lingering whips, to fix some things that were technically finished, but I needed to change in order for them to be more wearable for me. I had a couple Advent type projects. I ended up finishing more than I usually do in a month, even though it was very busy. I did a lot more knitting. First and foremost, I finished my Maven top, and this is dirty. I have worn it like 3 times, and it was in my to clean pile, so I do apologize. But I finished it, yay! I finished it right towards the beginning of the month. I really just had to lengthen it, add another one of these like sections of the pearl bump. This fits me really well. It's very flattering. It's long enough on me. It's not super long. I don't think I could wear like any and all pants with it, but most of my pants are on the higher waisted side, and so this works really well with them. So this is the Maven top by Rachel Raimo, and I knit this in Teeny Button Wednesday in a Cafe, which I've had in my stash for a while, so it felt really good to use this up. I did alternate skeins, which is good. You can see kind of how the color's striping a little bit. And so by alternating skeins, it made it so it wasn't pooling as much as it could have. I wanted this as like a fall top, so it's like fall colored, but definitely a good neutral I could wear any time of year. But it's nice and breezy. I can definitely wear this in the warmer weather, which I'm excited about. I was wearing this in December and I needed more layers because it was too cold, which is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have like a really heavy, warm t-shirt. I wanted a nice breezy one, and this one was that. Perfect. Really happy about that. My other big FO that I finished was my oat sweater by This Bird Knits. Ta-da! Yay! And you might remember, didn't you finish this already? Technically, though, I never listed it as a finished object in any of my podcasts, because as soon as I finished it, I realized I needed to add length. So that's what I did. I fixed this sweater. I added about 3 inches, 3¼ inches right about here, and you can kind of see a little bit of a break. I didn't alternate skeins for this part, and so you can kind of see the color is just like barely different. I don't think it's different enough that it's going to bother me or that's going to be super noticeable, just really if you're looking for it. But I did sweater surgery and it was scary, and I forgot I had alternated yarns, and so that made it way harder to do sweater surgery. So if I alternate skeins and I need to go back and do sweater surgery, I think I'm just gonna undo the bind off and undo it. I think that'll be easier, honestly. Yes, I added length. I inserted needles above and below a row, and then I snipped, unraveled, had to do some playing around and like tinking back and all that stuff. And then I added new yarn and knit, and then once it was long enough, I Kitchenered the 2 ends together. So I think it turned out pretty well. There was like one spot kind of on the edge where something weird happened with my Kitchener. I think I did something wrong. but I can't even find it right now. So that's good. Oh, I found it. And it doesn't look super bad, but it doesn't look great. It's like on the back / side of my sweater, so it'll be fine. I'm excited I can wear this now. I think this is a fun little like wintry color. It is very pale. It's like this pale purple. This is also teeny button, and this is in the color Bartok. I really love the lace on the sleeves. It's a 3/4 length sleeve, which is my favorite. And I'm just excited to be able to wear this and like put this to good use because I haven't really done that. It was too short for me to comfortably wear before now. So finally got it done. It was more of a disaster to do the sweater surgery than I anticipated, but I powered through and I finished it this month. I finished 3 pairs of socks in December, and let me share the first one I finished. The first one I finished was actually my second sock in a pair that had been lingering since July. It was a test knit, the Vortex socks by Carrie Cogan Brown. There were just other test knits and other socks and other projects that got in the way, and I didn't want to do this. Honestly, it was just me being lazy. Also, because of how the color was pooling, I needed to alternate skeins to make it pool less, or else like one half of the sock would have been blue and the other half would have been pink. So there's still definitely some like striping and pooling, but it's not nearly as bad as it was the first time I tried to knit it. And so that was another reason why I kind of delayed even casting on the sock. But I had some meetings at work and I had like a couple night shifts, and I blew through this second sock in like less than a week. It actually did not take me very long because it's not a hard pattern. It's just purls and knits. I don't know why I waited so long, because I'm lazy, honestly, is the answer. I used to be really good about second sock syndrome, but lately, this year, I'm not as good about finishing my socks just because I was inundated with socks that I started, and so I did it to myself. The other socks I did were both DK weight socks. These are my Desert Visit at Work socks for December, and I actually made a video in Vlogmas where I tried to knit this pair of socks in a day, tried to redeem myself. Watch that video. I am really proud of how much I knit in a day, but these are DK weight. The color from Desert Visit Dye Works is Holiday Stripes Thin. You can see the white is now a little pink tinged because I blocked these. What can you do? That's just how they're gonna be. Nice and Christmassy. Cute. Worked up really fast, honestly. Not just because I worked on them all day one day, but DK weight socks work up nice and fast, which is nice. And I just used like a natural for the heel. Kind of break that up. And then I knit a pair of Advent socks using Freckled Whimsy's Advent yarn. So this is a 24 stripe sock. I did the DK weight because I wanted cozy, I wanted them fast. I also ordered the contrast mini to come with it, though I ordered a 50-gram mini because I was thinking heels, toes, cuffs with the self-striping, it would look really nice. And I forgot that 24 stripes would be very long, and so I didn't want it to be too long, so I only ended up using the contrast for the heel so that my socks would still be wearable for me. And this is how they turned out. They look so good. I did toe up. I started cuff down, and I found out, you know what, I can't really do the contrast for the heels, toes, and cuffs because then like the 24 stripes would lengthen the length of the sock that much more. Let's see, I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So imagine the sock 6 stripes longer because of the stripes being displaced from the toe and the cuff. So this is a good size for me. It's a little bit longer than I normally like, but this is still very wearable. So I'm glad I made that decision and started toe up because I really wasn't sure how many stripes I would need on the leg. This is how it turned out. So cute. I've been eyeing Freckled Whimsy's Advent for a while, and so I finally bought it, and it was fun to work on. I did work ahead of schedule, which was also fun. You can follow whatever rules you want for your Advent as long as you don't spoil it for anyone else. And so I ended up getting really ahead and like finishing one sock and then getting like halfway through another sock and being like ahead of schedule for a couple days. And that made it really nice so that by the end of Advent, I wasn't working on 2 socks simultaneously. I already had one done. I just had to do a couple of stripes and then I was finished. So that was really nice. I definitely recommend. If you want an Advent project that's not super big and doesn't take a super long time, Advent socks or an Advent hat maybe even would be good choices. My last finished object objects. It's like a pair. It's a set. They came together. So who knows? They'll be listed as like one project in Ravelry. So I guess it's only one finished object. I participated in Sarah Shira's Snow Matter What knit along. So this was a gnome knit along. And you actually make two little critters. You have a snowman and then Mr. Knightley after he turned into a snowman. So there's like this whole story that goes with it. And so for each of the days of Advent, the 24 days, you get knitting clues, of course, but then you also get different little bits of the story as it progresses. There were recipes, there were coloring pages. It was really fun. And so Mr. Knightley turned into a snowman because of some magic. They try to turn him back. He turns back and he is not quite himself. He's still definitely infused with some snow magic. He's got snowball hands and like this little snowflake, but he's mostly himself, more himself than when he was a snowman. So I made these cute little critters. I finished them in time by the end of the knit along, which was really fun. It was fun to be all cut up and be able to participate in like the daily clues and read them, because I was definitely behind for the first half of Advent. So by the second half, I was caught up and I was able to do the daily updates, which was really fun. Highly recommend. I've done her knit-alongs before, but I've not finished the Advent knit-along, but I have 3 other gnomes right there that I've done for her make-alongs. So super fun. I really like it. A great way to use up some scraps and some minis that you may have in your stash already, which I have a lot. Awesome. So I had a lot of finished objects, which was really nice. Ticked some things off the list, which was good. I do have some things that are lingering still that I do want to work on and kind of get off my plate. I would love to have a fresh load of whips within the next couple months. And so let's get into talking about my works in progress. Do you remember I had this accountability project for my whips? I did not work on it. And I even pulled it out very recently to work on it, and I just was working on other things instead. And I mean, I got other things done, which is good. This should be my next priority project because I'm almost halfway through this second sock, so it'd be really nice to just finish it, especially because with the 2-color work, they're nice and cozy, nice and thick. These are the Contrast Blast Socks by Stephen West. Yes, another lingering whip that I am unfortunately bringing into 2024. Another kind of accountability whip that I need to show you that is lingering from 2023 is my July socks that, again, I started in July of this year. And I actually did do half a repeat on them at work, which is awesome. Ta-da! The problem is with this lace pattern, it's fun. I'm liking it, and I love this yarn. This is Explore Knits and Fibers in the color Moonstone and Untamed. Adore this. Adore everything about this, but this isn't a good work project when I'm like doing trainings on the computer or things like that. I just have to look at my knitting too much. And so maybe if I'm like watching YouTube or something, they might be okay for that. But as far as doing trainings, not gonna work. So that's unfortunate because I get a lot of knitting done on my night shifts when I'm doing my online training modules. Maybe they'll be ready by this July in 2024. That would be amazing. But this is the first sock and it's got a long way to go. Not a priority. Definitely need to do the Contrast Blast socks first. And also, I'm just itching to have a vanilla sock made with some beautiful yarn. I just need to go through my stash and pick something that is calling to me because I just need something a little different right now, I think. One of the things I love about variegated yarn is that like every stitch looks a little different and it's just beautiful to watch it work up. Maybe I need to cast something on. One of my projects that I started in December as like an Advent type of project is the Grove Shawl Light by Sarah Opie. This is designed to use 4 different fingering weight skeins. There is also a DK weight version. And I decided to use my Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. Sunday Advent. I got 4 different skeins, full skeins to open on 4 different Sundays in the month of December. And I love every single one of these colors, and they also really blend well one with another. I think that they do a really nice fade while also being very distinct colors. And so I'm just excited to work on this shawl. It'll be very colorful using the 4 different colors, but I still think that I'll really like all these colors together. I'm just starting to fade from my first color into my second color, which is exciting. This shawl fades from like color 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fades back 3, 2, 1. Let me show ya. Here's the front of my shawl, and hold my needles so they're not clicking around. Ta-da! I've got a good chunk. So you can see I've got a couple of stripes of my second color. This first color is called Fireside. This second color is called Spiced Chai. And this advent was called A Very Bookish Christmas. It came with a copy of Love Light Farms by BK Borison as well. And it was just like a fun little like book themed advent. I've had a few book themed advents this year. Definitely check out my video where I share all my advents at the beginning of December, and also my bonus Vlogmas video where I shared what all the yarns and goodies looked like. Though I did eat most of the snacks, but you can check that out up above and down below. The next color after Spiced Chai is Christmas Tree Farm. I adore this color so much. And then Comfort Read. So good. So each color is very distinct, and they're not exactly like a perfect fade, but I think they're really close and like within the same color family enough. I feel like it's gonna work out really well. So those fade, and this one, which you're like, oh, this is like purple. But if you put it close, you can definitely see that it's got some of that same color melded throughout. And then of course these two. Again, there's some of that like lighter green in there. I'm loving this project. I was worried because I did a Find Your Fade shawl. I don't really wear it because it's huge, but I think that this will be a little bit tighter of a gauge. I think with the slip stitches on the edges, it kind of holds it in a little bit better. I think that my colors, because they're more variegated, are going to fade a little bit easier. I won't be using 100% of all the yarn. And just the shape is gonna use the yarn a little bit better rather than having some like really long tails. I just feel like even though the shape is more interesting for Find Your Fade, I feel like this is gonna be a little bit more wearable because it's not gonna turn out quite as large of a wingspan. Though I can't find in the pattern anywhere where it says exactly how wide it's going to be wingspan wise. I wish there was a schematic or numbers or something. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But in looking at pictures, I think it's going to be a very wearable shawl. And it's just been fun. It's not hard to do. It's a very simple repeat. And so it's just been a nice steady knit, which I've liked. I've got a long ways to go on that, so that'll be a long-term project for me. My other whip that I have to share with you, again, a December Advent project, and this is from my Book Society box from Woolberry Fiber Co. Again, I have a separate vlog where I opened the box, read the book, showed you the yarns, and started the project. So I haven't made any progress since that vlog, but let me show you, in case you haven't watched, what I am making. I'm making the Astrid blanket, and I'm modifying it to add another round of puff stitches so that I can have all 4 colors that I opened for this box together within each square. Ta-da! And this way I can have all of the winter box colors together when I do the spring box and summer and fall boxes, because I'm doing the subscription. I can have different squares for each season and kind of mix all the squares together, and so I can keep all the seasonal colors together, but also mix them up in different orders. So let me show you the colors I've got. First color I opened, I'm holding the yarn double because this is fingering weight yarn. This is called Bus Stop. This is called Summer Hedgerow. This one is called Jenny's Bracelet. And this one is called, oh, that looks gross. And this one is called We Got There in the End. The book, One Day in December, not my favorite. Maybe I was a little harsh in rating One Day in December a 2. Because the writing was really good. I really enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the pacing. But I hated the characters. Like so much. And like I had some ethical issues with some of the things that happened in the book. Some people love that book though. So it just wasn't my kind of romance. So I only have 4 squares done. 1 from each of the like different color combos. Yes, sorry, I've just got lots of ends, so it's a little hard to navigate around. So this will be really fun. This is my one crochet project going on. I would love to have all these squares finished by the time the spring box comes, which I think is coming in February for a March opening. So I've got some time. I got to start working on this. This could be a really good project to work on night shifts at work when my patients are sleeping to kind of work through this yarn pretty fast. It wouldn't take too long because crochet, holding it double, each square takes about 12 grams of yarn, if I remember correctly. And so I think my goal is to make an even number in each of the color combinations. So I think I'm gonna make like maybe 8, and then from there see how much yarn I have and make sure I can make one of every color combination. And from there I will make sure I can make more squares before I start them. I might be left with like 5 to 10 grams of each color, and then I can put them in my scrap bins because I have a lot of scraps. And these are all beautiful colors, so I wouldn't mind saving them for like sock heels, toes cuffs, things like that, or color work or something. So that's everything I've been making in the months of November and December. I had a really rough month in November. Work was really, really tough. I'm really glad that things seem to be looking up a little bit, but I also prioritized my making, which is really good, getting some things off the list. And kind of gotta see what else to work on. I think I do want to cast on just a pair of fun socks, something easy but with some really beautiful yarn to inspire me by their color, kind of brighten me up, because even though it's not super cold and we don't have a lot of snow, it's still kind of dreary and like overcast outside. I need some cheer going on. I'll just try to finish these lingering whips over the next little bit. Yeah, we'll see kind of what January looks like because it is only January 3rd, so we've got plenty of time to see where the month takes us, especially because I'm not doing the Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club anymore. Finish the year. I am done. I'm going to branch out, work on some other projects, I think. All right, let's talk about some new yarn goodies. I actually got a lot of goodies in November specifically, and so that's part of the reason why I didn't want to just talk about one finished object and a whole bunch of yarn that I got in the mail. I kind of wanted to create more balance in what I talked about in my podcast, and so I figured I have lots of whips and FOs to share with you today. So I'll share with you all the things that I got in the mail. I only got a few skeins in the mail in December, but also part of that was related to Advent stuff. And I'm not going to talk about Advents here, even though I did get a couple Advent type packages in December. I talked about those in my Advent videos. Specifically, the one I'm thinking of is Dying Wishes Yarn Co. I got their New Year's Eve countdown, which I was not anticipating, but I just loved the inspo pictures so much. I could not stop thinking about it. So I caved and I did that. And I talked about that in my New Year's Eve video. I showed everything that I opened. And so you'll be able to see all that yarn there. But let's talk about the non-Advent skeins that came in the mail for me. First, from Desert Vista Dye Works, I had a 30% off coupon from participating in July, August, and September for the monthly sock club. And so I wanted to put it to good use. And so I bought a couple skeins. I've got Mint Cocoa Quilts, a Christmassy color for next year maybe. I've got Little Women, which is a book I love, and I thought these would be a fun pair of socks. I've got Riverdale, because I just loved these colors. So deep and moody. And then this is a color that I have eyed and put in my cart every single time I purchase from Desert Vista Dye Works, and I have not purchased it. And then I looked online, and like no one has stashed it. No one has a project with it, and so I just feel like this color needed some love. This is Scottish Thistle. Greens and purples, so pretty. And now it is mine. A couple other stripy yarns that came in the mail. This is Practical Magic from Kimber's Cozy Creation. I got the Twisted Fingering base, which is their 80/20. Be a good Halloween colorway next year. And I haven't read Practical Magic yet, but I do have a copy on my shelves, so maybe I'll read it this year. And then this one is in their Cozy Fingering base, which is 75/25. And this is Candy Cane Forest sock set. I love this so much. When I saw Kimber post about this, I was like, this red is perfect. It's like just slightly muted. It's the perfect peppermint red. Love it. Oh my goodness. And then it has this green as a mini, which will be fun. Another great set of holiday socks that would be from Dying Wishes Yarn Co. I did get a different package that was not the countdown calendar that I want to share with you. So this is from their Head in the Clouds collection. They call it like Goosebumps sock sets. I love that you can pick which colors you want for the main skein and the mini, and you have total reign to choose. And so for my sock set, I chose Cotton Candy Sky for the main color and Marvelous for the mini. Super pretty. And then I loved this color. This is called Good Morning Moon, and I got a sweater quantity. Well, this is fingering weight yarn, 75/25, superwash merino and nylon, because I like how versatile it is for socks or whatever else. And I got 3 skeins to make a tee, or I can make a sweater if I hold it together with like a mohair or suri or something else. I'm not sure what I want to make. I think I was thinking a Brooklyn Raglan Light, however it's called, by Tori Yu was kind of my thought for this, but I'm not decided. I've noticed over the past few months that I do have plenty of sweater quantities, but I also make fewer garments than accessories, so I definitely purchased more accessory yarn. Let's see, from Sorella Yarn, they did like their Autumn in New York, their greatest hits, revisiting that collection. And so I purchased, this is Jazz in the Park. Love this. Perfect fall colors. It's their nylon sock base, 80/20. And this is, what's this called? Sweater Weather. I wanted to make a shawl, maybe like is it the Crow shawl? It's Crochet made by Haley Bailey, or something of that variety. So pretty, perfect for the fall. I love it. And then I also bought, this is the color Nolita in the classic bulky base, which is like, I think it's gonna look beautiful knit up. I really want to make a bulky hat. For some reason, like a bulky hat in this colorway was like living rent-free in my brain since the last time they did this collection, and so I had to make it happen. They didn't bring any classic bulky with them to Woolen Folk this year when I saw them, and so I like put a pin in my brain waiting for this collection to open online, and then I made sure to purchase. And then the last yarn dyer I purchased from was Treehouse Knits, and this collection I've been waiting on for like a long time. It was like a 16-week turnaround or something like that, like a 12 to 16-week turnaround. I've got, this is the Midnight Children sock set. It's spruce sock, which is their 75/25 base. I have the Midnight Children in a sweater quantity of like non-superwash yarn, I think. Can't remember if I did DK or fingering, but I really like this color and I wanted to get it in the sock. I think this color is called El Brije and this was called Coco Shawl, something like that. I feel like I'm also making up those names for the minis. And this one, I do not know at all what the minis are called, not even an inkling. But this is First Flurries sock set, also the same base. Beautiful purple, moody, love it. And then I had a vision for a hat. I really wanted to try their Truffula Cashmere base, which is actually a fingering weight. It is 81% superwash merino wool and 19% cashmere, and it's fluffy, so soft. So I really wanted to try this base, and so I was thinking I would do a hat. The color is called I Smell Snow. So I have the Truffula Cashmere base, and then I have Spruce Sock, they're 75/25. So we'll see how this turns out. I really don't have a pattern or anything. I just really wanted to try this base. I've been eyeing it for a while, and I love this colorway so much. I needed something in it, and I wasn't sure what, so I just kind of combined those two itches in my brain by buying this combo. And we'll see what it turns into. Quite a bit of yarn, most of it in November. I was definitely net positive for yarn coming into my life in the year 2023. I did keep track of the full skeins that came in and out of my stash. December was a net 0. Go me, I did awesome. And I only count the skeins that I've used up, or like if the project is done, kind of thing. Not that I was trying to use up more of my stash, but I wanted to know more about my stash. So I was tracking. This coming year, I anticipate not working as many hours. I also anticipate having a little bit more time at home, though I will be spending time watching my daughter more. She's at daycare right now because I work full time, and so I'm paying for daycare. My life will look a little different later on this year, I think, but I anticipate being able to use up more of my stash, hopefully. I think in general, like, I just want to be rotating through my older stash more. I don't mind replacing my stash and buying new yarns and supporting other makers. I really love that I can do that and that I have the financial means to do so. But I don't like having my yarns sitting for so long. And so I definitely want to make a point, make a goal for the new year to use up some stash yarn. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, but I have a couple more things to share with you that are some new Yarnie goodies. If you haven't heard, Pom Pom magazine is done. They are closing, which is really sad. I need to try to find their final issue because I was too slow to order online, so I couldn't get it, which is a bummer. So hopefully I can find their final issue at a local yarn store or something. But I did get a couple magazine and like other publications from them that I've been eyeing just because they were having like a 50% off sale. And so this was a fun little package to show up. This is Interpretations Volume 8, and I love like half these patterns in here I could see myself making. So I've definitely had this on my brain. This is Joji Locatelli and Vera Balameki. I don't know how to pronounce that. I also got Pom Pom Summer Crush because there's a couple really fun patterns like this one that I just want to learn more about the construction of. I mean, like, I love this sweater. Just flipping through. There's a couple other fun designs. I got this because I had eyed it, but I didn't want to buy it when it was just like one or maybe two patterns that like caught my eye. But with a 50% off sale when they're going out of business. And then Mini Pom. So cute. This is for little kids. And I don't know how many patterns are in here, but there's like, oh my gosh, this cardigan is so sweet. Oh my gosh, so stinking cute. Look at all these cute knits. Oh my gosh. I don't know if there are any crochet patterns in here. That cardigan I just showed you, of course. I'm not sure if there's any others though, but I'll have to look through and see. Make some fun little things for a mini person. So that was fun to get in the mail. It is really sad. Pom Pom is my favorite magazine. I really love what they've done to the community, but it's just not sustainable to have a print magazine. Let's talk about goals for 2024. I really don't have a lot. Maybe if I get the time, I will do a video talking about my goals for 2023 and how that went because it did not go how I thought. But part of that is because when I started the year, I did not have a full-time job. And then in February, I started a full-time job as an ICU nurse with trainings and schedules, working full-time, switching between days and nights. So it's taken up a lot of my time. And so I did not get through nearly as many projects as I anticipated. I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to look like this year, but I really don't know how much I can make. I'm going to be really gentle with my goals and intentions for making, but some things that I want to try to do more of. I would love to try to make more projects that are really current, where like a designer comes out with a new design and I like cast on right away. I would love to be able to make when a new pattern comes out. And I do have quite a bit of stash, and so I should be able to do that. And I have a couple yarn stores that are really close to me, and so if I need yarn, I can always get some too. I would love to just be a part of the community in that way and making things the same time other people are making them. I think that would be really fun. Instead of putting new patterns at like the bottom of my to make list because I have other things that have waited longer, I would like to still make time for the things that are really inspiring me right this moment. Another thing I want to try to do that I already mentioned is using up more yarn stash. Not that I did a bad job of this last year, but I also want to be more intentional this year. And I'm trying to think, I made more than 24 items, so I could make a 24 goal. But I think what I'm going to do is, instead of specifying 24 different patterns to make in 2024, I want to make 24 different patterns using stash yarn. Meaning yarn that I purchased before 2024. And some of that yarn just recently came into my life. So like Advent stuff, that would still count because I purchased it in 2023 and started working on it in 2023. But I really want to have projects that are dedicated to using stash yarn. Something that was really fun this year was I had a couple test knits that I volunteered for, and I just shopped my stash to find yarn that would be a good fit. And so that was a really fun experience. I want to do that more. And so having 24 projects using stash yarn, whatever projects they turn out to be. I'm not planning the projects at all because who knows what life is going to throw me. But 24 projects, I can definitely make 24 projects in 2024 because I think I hit 50 projects in 2023, even with my crazy schedule. So I can do it for 2024, but wanting to make sure that I am intentional about using my stash instead of just using newer yarn that I purchased in 2024. But that should still leave room for me to use newer yarns if I want to, but also making sure to use up my stash yarn too. My little bookshelf is overflowing. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a bigger bookshelf. It's only a 9-cube shelf, but I'm bursting out of it. So maybe I'll talk to my husband. Maybe I'll get a bigger shelf and then relocate this one into like our bedroom or as like a bookshelf downstairs or something. I'm not sure. I have options. We'll see what becomes of the shelf if that changes. But I like having yarn for a rainy day, especially because I have the funds for it right now with a full-time job, and I won't always have the budget for purchasing yarn and supporting small makers. I'm enjoying it and appreciating it, saving up my stash for a rainy day. So that's kind of my goals for 2024. Not a ton, just some things I'm thinking about. I have some goals for reading as well. And if you've noticed, I did rebrand a little bit on this channel. This channel is no longer called Crochet Creations. I'm calling it The Cozy Crow because I don't just crochet. I actually mostly knit now because I really enjoy knitting at the moment. And I've been doing a lot of reading this year, and I would like to make more book-related videos and to just kind of re-showcase what I'm doing. I'm not focusing as much on designing, though I've done designing in the past, and I still have my Etsy and Ravelry shops. And I do anticipate doing some designing this year too, but it's not just about crochet creations, but also just the other things I'm working on. All things cozy here at The Cozy Crow. If you have any ideas for specific cozy related videos that you want to watch, then let me know down below because I love to hear from you. That's kind of what's new over here. We had Christmas. I got sick. My daughter got like a little bit sick, but I got really sick. Like I took 3 naps on Saturday. I was very sick. And so I'm feeling way better, which is great. Though I don't sound 100%. I don't feel 100%, but I'm getting there. I'm almost there. Work's been busy. We got to enjoy some fun times for the holidays. Make sure to check out my Vlogmas to see a little bit more. But with my work schedule, we didn't do a ton of like holiday type things, but we did a little bit. It was a little hard to get into the holiday spirit with me working so much, and especially without any like snow and like really enjoying like having a fun snow day. But still got to do some things, got to spend some time with family, which is good. And with me being sick, honestly, we got to spend more time as a family this past week, even though normally I would have worked a few shifts. I had to call in sick because I was very sick. And so even though I would have rather spent time with family not sick, it was still nice to be with my family and to enjoy their company and just to do some like little small things. And I feel like the small things are what means the most, honestly, when it comes down to it, rather than like big gestures, is being able to just go bird watching and enjoy each other's company outside for a little bit. That was a highlight of my day. I loved it. I'm pretty sure I went home and took a nap after that because I was exhausted. Not much specific that hasn't been shown already on this channel, but thank you so much for joining me as I shared everything I worked on the past couple months and all the fun yarn goodies that came into my life the past few months. And as we look forward to 2024 and the making journey that I'll go on this next year, I would love to do a little review on everything I made in 2023. We'll see if I can get around to it or if I can when that happens. We shall see. Hopefully soon, and you can take a look at everything that I made. But I do share my top 10 things that I made in Vlogmas, so you can check that out. I keep plugging Vlogmas. I am really proud of Vlogmas, and it doesn't get as much viewership, but I really tried to create some content that I thought you guys would really enjoy for the month of December and just for the winter months in general. So make sure to check it out and watch any of those videos that catch your eye there. But until next time, happy making. Bye!